reported by NBC Miami. All right, so the owner of a Pomeranian, there's a guy that owns a Pomeranian, I should say. His name is Eric Torres. He was issued a citation by Miami-Dade Animal Services after a video of the dog at a Miami Heat NBA game went viral. My question for you is, why did Animal Services issue this guy a citation over the Pomeranian?
Was the dog drinking alcohol?
That's not a bad guess, not a bad guess. So, no, what happened was he dyed the thing to look like Pikachu, and we've got video courtesy of CJ Fogler on Twitter. Look at this. Look at that.
That's so cool.
Look at that. Wow. And we have a
I would want
picture.
that.
Here's a picture of the owner with the dog, Eric Torres with the dog. Look at that thing. Okay. This guy, obviously, clearly, he's desperate for
Is a
attention,
Pokemon
right?
fan.
Des
Yeah.
Okay, do you think he did it because he's a Pokemon fan, or do you think he did it because he's just absolutely desperate for attention?
I mean, I would say a little bit of both because everyone knows Pikachu, but you got to be a Pokemon fan to really want to do that to your dog.
Uh-huh,
And just about everything these days are about clout. So why not
uh-huh,
sprinkle in a little bit of that?
uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, but, that's what he did. Okay, my question for you about this one, with the exception of your hair, because I know you had red hair, so with the exception of your hair, have you ever had anything dyed? And I'm not just, like, necessarily talking about, like, anything on your person. It could be anything. It could be clothing. It could be whatever. Have you ever had anything dyed?
Well, me and my sister spent a lot of our childhood dyeing my hair and her hair.
Uh-huh.
And when you do that, dye gets on everything. And with colorful hair, the thing is, once you dye your hair, depending on what color it is, and most of the colors we did this, they bleed on everything. So
Oh,
I would go to sleep and wake up and accidentally dye my pillows red because I would like
uh-huh.
sweat in my sleep. So the hair would the hair dye would get on the pillow, the towels, everything. I think I've intentionally tie dyed a pair of shorts once, but I've never
Uh-huh.
dyed fur of an animal.
Good to know, good to know. Hopefully, you can keep that trend going. Reported by cron.com. Oh, this is I can't wait to get a reaction on this one. This is good. So, there is a Texas state senator by the name of Bob Hall, and we got a picture of good old Bob Hall. Put that up there, Joel. There he Oh, look at there he is. He looks like he's having a good time. So, Senator Hall wants to make it mandatory to label food items that contain a certain ingredient. All right. He wants the labels to be properly marked if they have a certain ingredient. And he actually introduced a bill for this, and it's gotten him a lot of attention. And my question for you is, what is the ingredient that Senator Bob Hall wants properly labeled on food items?
Ooh. I don't really check the ingredients of food items to know what's like always there. I want to say gluten.
Okay, so that makes way more sense, because Senator Bob Hall, and this is real. I don't make this shit up. This is real. He wants to properly label on food if it contains aborted human fetal tissue. And here is a copy of the actual bill that he introduced, because this is real. So, okay, Joel didn't label it, but he says fetal tissue food product. Now, here's the thing: the US Food and Drug Administration, they say that there are no conditions under which the FDA would consider human fetal tissue to be safe or legal for human consumption. And so it doesn't exist. You cannot buy food items that have aborted human fetal tissue in them. And the only thing that people can think of, there was a rumor a while back, you hear about bullshit that people make up. There was a rumor that Pepsi had aborted fetal cells in the drinks. And so
What?
people think that Texas State Senator Bob Hall fell for that and believe that there really are fetal cells in the Pepsi, which there isn't. So he actually created a bill in Texas to make sure, okay, if you got fetal tissue in that food, it's got to be properly labeled. What do you
Oh
think?
my god.
Good use of taxpayer money?
I mean, it's Texas. Are we really surprised? I feel like Texas and Florida at this point like are on par with each other. Like they go back and forth of who can be the stupidest place to live. And like Florida's really up there with a lot of
Florida's
the
up
things
there.
they do, but Texas like right there with them.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even I've never heard about that. I knew people eat the placenta
Uh-huh.
and
Well,
people cook
usually,
the
yeah,
placenta.
yeah, I've got kids and they let us make pills and stuff out of it because apparently it's good for the mom for the breast milk or
Yeah, because it's like
something.
yeah, all the nutrients and everything that the baby was getting in there, and it's
Yeah.
good for either the mom or the baby.
Yeah, but who's gonna
But
go to the store and buy, I don't know, a can of tuna, and it's got aborted human fetal
I
tissue in
don't
it? No, it's not gonna
I
happen.
don't even know who would think that, like, to check of all things, it's like, well, gotta make sure this is calorie free, gluten
Uh-huh.
free, uh,
I know who would
baby
check.
free.
You know who would check? Texas State Senator Bob Hall would. He would. So, for this
Aren't you
one,
glad your senators are doing the things, you don't wanna do or have to worry about?
this is one of these great situations where I can look in the camera and I can smile and I can say, "I'm Canadian."
Must be nice.
So we don't deal with, well, our prime minister is not too much better, but at least
Oh,
I could say that. So I could go in so many directions with this one with a question. And
yeah.
so here's what I'm going to ask you. Is there any legitimate ingredient that is commonly used in food that you generally try to avoid? And if so, why?
No.
Nothing.
I
It could say, "Hey,
really
this
like
can
I
this contains ricin," and you'd be like, "Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. I'll take my chances."
I don't really check like what goes into the food I eat because I'm like not the healthiest of eaters, but I'm pretty picky when it comes
Uh-huh.
to eating certain things. So I'm like a picky eater.
Uh-huh.
So I don't really try things like super out of my comfort zone that come with like a list of ingredients on them. So like I think the adventurous I've gotten the most was when I went to Japan and I was just like trying things and like not really asking what they were, but they were like cooked. So it's not like they came with like a list of ingredients and I can be like, oh no, can't have that.
It'd be a Japanese anyway. Like
Exactly.
they could literally say this contains heroin, and you'd be like, yeah.
Never tried it. Who knows?
Roses are red, violets are blue. I click the subscribe button. You really should too. If you like videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, subscribe now.